begin with the first day of the re-implementation of the no contact apprehension policy in major thoroughfares in Metro Manila.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority says that more than 1,100 traffic violations were recorded on the first day of the re-implementation of the no contact apprehension policy.
The Metropolitan Manila Development Authority intensifies physical apprehensions amid suspension of no contact apprehension policy. The MMDA also clarifies that they will continue to collect fines for prior violations under NCAP.
That video was kind of aesthetically pleasing to the eyes.
Yes. It feels like it nourishes my eyes. It's
How
like
long-
looking at green, the color green.
How long is this going to stay like this? I do not know.
Yeah.
But is it going to be solving problems? Probably for some.
Yeah.
It's probably going to spring up a bunch of other problems.
Yeah, for sure.
A different...
Knowing how Filipinos are very street smarts and madiskarte, they're gonna
probably.
find a hack.
Are you in favor of this?
Oh, I love it. I love the idea.
Have you ever been caught like that here with the cameras?
Yeah,
For
I have.
overspeeding?
I have a court date for August, end of August,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna be appearing and I'm gonna plead not guilty.
How am I not surprised that you're gonna appeal this? But anyway.
They're not gonna get my money that easily.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying that you oversped.
No.
All I'm saying is I am not surprised that you're gonna appeal this.
I was surprised when I got this ticket. And I didn't know what happened, but I have things in my head that proves the possibility why I got the ticket, but I refuse to believe that I was speeding.
And again, I am not surprised.
But anyways,
yeah,
anyways.
This has been a thing here in North America, like getting caught with traffic infractions because of cameras.
Yeah.
But
And
now
there's
it's
so
getting-
many of them.
Yes. But it's still not as congested with vehicles as much as the Metro Manila. I think one of the bigger problems is there's too much. There's too much private cars, private
Yeah.
vehicles.
Imagine with color coding. They use that policy so that there's going to be less vehicles in the street, but it backfired on them. So now what the middle class people did is they buy another car
If they can.
if they can.
If we're talking about middle class, I would say like a regular middle class family would not have been able to get multiple cars like that. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there's certain groups of people that worked around that system
Yeah.
with buying new cars.
Yeah. And this will happen too on this new policy, I think.
Yeah,
they're gonna find ways.
Yeah.
Maybe shooting the camera with a paintball gun.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe like buying those license plate that it's transparent, but once it's hit by flash, it's just gonna reflect it back.
But I am in favor of this just for the fact that it eases up public transport in a way.
Yeah.
For me, it's more about like making it easier for people to use public transport.
Because that's what we need.
Yes.
We need to have a more efficient public transportation.
Yep.
So that way, what's the point of having to use your private vehicle? If public transportation is going to be more convenient,
Yep.
it's going to be cheaper. If you're going to be getting there on time from point A to point B, there's no need.
Yep.
Like how our other Asian countries are doing it. Japan, Singapore.
But the thing is, I don't know if they have the same amount of pileup of problems for the Philippines. I would say one of them is everything's congested in Manila. Like
Yeah.
everything is
Everyone wants to be
focused
living
in Manila. Not living, but just working. Everybody's trying to work in Manila, even though they are in their own towns, just like outside of Manila. That's why it adds to the traffic there. I don't feel like that's getting solved by the no contact apprehension policy. But in a way, if you are coming from the towns, like just right outside of Manila, it's going to be easier for you to commute. Easier or more convenient.
Yeah.
I feel like the people who are gonna get hit by this is the motorcycle riders.
But if they're gonna be driving side by side, shoulder to shoulder, are they gonna be able to be detected in the system?
Maybe not. I do not know. But I feel like they are gonna get mad because if this is implemented, they can't just be zigzagging
Yeah.
in between traffic. I know there's some people who prefer going with motorbikes because they can cheat the
Yeah,
traffic
the system,
system.
yeah.
I just know that with this, it's gonna be harder for them to do that. And what's the point of owning a motorcycle
Yeah.
by then? So
But if you think about this, like in the perfect world, if we're all going to be following the traffic rules, everything's going to be smoother, everything's going to be faster. But the problem is people are trying to cheat the traffic policies, right?
well, not just the traffic policies.
Everything, yeah,
Everybody's
everything.
trying to get ahead of
Get ahead
somebody.
of everyone, yeah.
For me, in a perfect world, there's going to be job opportunities everywhere, not just
Yeah.
Manila. That's the perfect world for me. For me, that can help ease up traffic a bit in the metro. I've heard of some downsides for the no contact apprehension policy, where it's gonna be mostly about the fees and not
Oh,
really
okay.
trying to instill
Like
dis-
discipline.
discipline. I mean, I can
Well,
see
that's
that.
gonna be that's your disciplinary action is you have to be spending your hard-earned money to pay the fines.
I-
That's why you need to follow the rules.
I can see that, but for me, it's different than knowing what the right thing to do is in traffic than being scared of traffic infractions. It's two different things for me.
Yeah.
So, yes, you're following the rules. I would say that's still a net
Yeah.
positive, but the mentality of the people who are using the roads is still going to be the same.
But the beauty is right now, if it's gonna be generating more money for tax, and hopefully it's gonna go to the right pockets of what we actually need in the Philippines, right? That's additional revenue for the government.
That's
If.
that's
That's
the
an if.
hope. People don't trust the government. That's
Yeah.
why it's a big downside.
I don't blame them.
Right?
I don't
The other
blame.
one is there's going to be some out of context infractions. There's going to be additional discernment if it's an emergency or not. Whereas if it's like a traffic enforcer, they can reason out
Yeah.
or something.
But not
It's-
everyone wants to do that. Not everyone wants to be burdened by appearing in court. So there's some people that's gonna be, oh, F this, I'm just gonna pay. Just get it over with. And hopefully I'm not gonna get caught again.
I would say that's in Canada, not there.
We will see.
But I feel like more people would be leaning towards appealing.
True,
I
because
would say.
yeah, that's true because it's harder to earn money there. Right?
So,
Especially how much is the fine.
It's kind of a different scenario.
Well, another downside I think is that's gonna be less money going to traffic enforcers. Like how about their coffee? How about their extra snacks?
Right.
How are they gonna be affording those?
I think another issue is the ones that are getting the tickets are the registered owners and not the driver.
Well, usually if it's private, it's gonna be a family member, so that's okay. Cause I can just hound you,
Still.
or I'm not gonna. Usually, if I don't know how it is in the Philippines, but if I have my own vehicle, I'm not just gonna lend this to anyone. My vehicle, it's either my wife, or my children, or my parents.
So you're saying this is a minimal downside for you.
I think so.
This wouldn't be a problem for
Yeah.
you. I guess so. Just for me, there's too much going on in the Philippines. I just believe that every correction is an overcorrection. And this overcorrection I kinda welcome.
Yeah, I
Because
like this too.
I feel like there's going to be more benefits to more people.
Yeah,
It's gonna spring up inconveniences, but I'm opposed to the rules.
yeah. It's already inconvenient living in the Philippines.
Yeah. So
This is not a big setback for them.
Yep.
And look at that video. That's beautiful. I love it. I want to go home in the Philippines if it's going to be like that all the time. Right?
but that's just in the metro.
Yeah,
though. It's only
that's-
implemented in the metro. I don't know if the other local government units are gonna follow suit.
I have a feeling that if it's going to work out in the metro, they're going to follow suit. And that's another way to use the pork barrel.
We'll see.
Plus, I think it's going to employ a lot more people in the future. Because
How?
if they have this system, like they need, in the government, they need more people monitoring this system. Right? This surveillance
They
camera.
employ it like
Yeah.
more
So now,
outside of Manila.
yeah, and now they need to hire more people in the justice system to actually help out, let's say, legal aid for the if you're gonna be disputing your ticket. So that's gonna be another work for, let's say, freshly graduate. For, let's say, if they're doing political science or just legal aid, I don't know.
You're gonna focus on helping out people with traffic tickets.
But yeah, I'm just talking about like the additional employment opportunities that it's gonna follow, right?
I guess.
Well, I don't know. I'm just
guess.
guessing.
I guess.
But I'm just hoping that whatever they're doing here, like the money, the fines that they're collecting, it's gonna be put to a good use.
Welcome to the dreamland.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. But yeah, again, you got Edmund here.
You got me 2X, and this is Twice the D.
Imagination runs free.